Hello? Hello? Okay, so it's working much better on here. I guess we'll be doing lives from now on here. I mean, I could always do it on the computer, but sometimes it causes trouble. But hello, this is the, I know I've had a couple live streams this past week. There's a reason for that, as we'll talk about here. But hang on, let me just kind of set something up here. The contents chapters. All right. So hello, welcome to the 6th monthly live stream where every 6 months on the last day of the month of June 30th and December 31st, or really I try to make it to December 31st, I talk about the 6 months in between the year, and especially occasionally during the year, at the end of the year, I do my epic ranking video of talking about every single movie I've seen in the year of that year. And only for the middle part of the year, we are doing a ranking. We are doing a live stream talking about what has been going on with me the last 6 months of 2024, with January to June of this year. So we're not wasting much time. So let's just go ahead and get straight into it. Okay, so we are starting off with January of this year. And I thought January was an interesting month for me. Because on one hand, usually January is one of the slowest months, as mostly nothing really happens. After Christmas and New Year's, there's not really anything exciting happening until my birthday. Granted, you do get my sister's birthday, but as time has passed on, we just kind of stopped doing things for her birthday. But not that that's a problem, but we just kind of stopped doing things. We kind of just we only really just go out to eat and do presents or whatever. As for like my first week, since it was also taking place during winter break, I thought it was actually pretty cool. I got to do, well, not fun stuff. I thought, because I've said it many times before on this channel that I hate the new winter break schedule, where basically, instead of getting 3 weeks of school in December, we get 4 weeks, but that 4th week doesn't really matter because you're just going there to take tests. And I really think I guess it's understandable. But it's like, why are we going to have tests as soon as the holidays are upon us? Because not only are people stressing to study, but they're also stressing to get those presents in time for their loved ones to see them during the holidays. And what's even crazy is you don't even get enough time to relax until the holidays, because as soon as midterms is done, you get straight into Christmas, and then you get a couple days before the New Year. And then you get a full week to, start the new year, which I guess is fine, but it's just kind of boring because I like that we get 2 weeks to celebrate both holidays and then we go back to school. And I mean, in a way, you do kind of get 2 full weeks of celebrating something, except my sister's birthday kind of doesn't count because we're not really doing anything. But like I said, not everything needs to be a celebration or a party. Sometimes the little list of events, the little list of big things can be quite small, and I think that's something you gotta accept as you get older. I guess the next thing we'll talk about here is stuff with school. Not really much during this month happened. I guess one thing, usually every year since COVID-19 with in 2021, they kind of extended because we would come back to school and it would still be second quarter. And actually, hold up, I am parched right now. Let me go get a water. It's right here. There we go. It was I got this water from my net then, so it's fine. So usually every time we come back from winter break, we're always basically back in second quarter. We're still in second quarter. And it usually stretches up for like a week. And then the next week, third quarter starts. Somehow they stretch second quarter more out to like 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm like, this is cool because we're not really doing much work. But I'm like, this is kind of your fault. Because why couldn't you just do it like they did last year where we just had 1 week of second quarter left and then we just do everything? Were people not turning in their grades as much as they wanted to? Like, it's kind of crazy. So, and honestly, I think doing the extra 2-3 weeks was a bit much, to be honest. But it is what it is. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that was a bit too much for an extension for people to get their work in. But granted, all my work was pretty much completed. Or if you're someone like me, most teachers just moved on. They didn't really focus on second quarter grades. They just did their third quarter work. So, yeah. And I guess the last thing we'll talk about here is for January is my birthday. So, if you guys know, usually every year since 2022, I've had a birthday party. And I have to say, for this recent party, I gotta say, I think this might be the best one yet. Now, at the time, I think it was perfect, but now it's almost perfect. And I'll explain why it's not perfect anymore in a little bit. But truly, this is definitely the best party I've had in a while. Because you look at the first party I had, and not many people came in. I invited a lot of people. Over 5 people came. Not to say I'm ungrateful or anything, but also half of those people I'm not even really friends with anymore. Really, I don't really hang out with any of those people like on a daily basis. Not anymore. Only one of them I'm like somewhat friends with, but it's like it's really nothing. Then we get to last year's party, and I think it was much better. Mainly because the people that I invited, I'm still friends with, and I'm still talking to, and I'm still hanging out with. So it's like, it was a good party to go to do. And then we get to this one. And what's so fun are really the things that we did and the things that happened. First off, the number of people that came in this party were over 10 people. First party, over 5 people came. Second party, we had over 7 people. This party had 10 people. And most of the same people came back, but there were actually some new people. And especially one friend that I started talking to in August of last year. And we had this mutual friendship. She followed me back on Instagram. I followed her back. And I remember seeing her around school before, but I never really thought we would get as close. Just because of friend differences of friends and stuff like that I don't talk to as much. And somehow, throughout the months, I've been able to talk to her and stuff. And she's been able to teach me a whole lot. To the point where, between October and November of last year, we were able to talk about things that I never thought I would talk about with anyone and let my thoughts out. And she was teaching me quite a lot. I'm not going to talk about the things that we were talking about, but she's taught me a bit of a life lesson in that people are people and we are just human trying to get through life. And I think through that, it both helped me, but she's also an enjoyable friend to talk to and have fun with. Granted, we don't hang out as much. We only can hang out as much as we can see each other. So I guess it's a good friendship if we're talking, because we would talk almost every single day and all that stuff. And I think that she actually kind of proved it with December and January, where I was able to, because every December I would do the candy cane thing, where I give someone a candy cane and I get a picture with them. That was great. That was easily one of the best memories of that year. And she was able to test, and the final test is to see, can she make it to the party. Now, if you can't make it to the party, I forgive you. But I would really appreciate it if you can, because the reason why I like doing parties on my birthday is because I like spending it with people. That's the best thing. I like to feel loved on my special day. And to have her come, because I tried getting another friend from like another school, or someone that's like someone that means so much to me, to come to my party, and they never did last year. And now this one that goes to my high school, and we somewhat hang out sometimes, but we do talk. We talk both in person when we can, but we talk mostly on text. But we are social people, and she made it. She came to the party, and she actually followed one of my other friends. She actually met one of my other friends, and I'm like, that was a cool thing to happen. Like, to see her interact with my friends a little bit was just kind of cool. It was cool. And I guess the other thing that we did were kind of the activities. So I would say last year were a lot. It was a lot more fun for activities, mainly because we weren't just sitting inside, playing Uno or playing card games. We actually went outside and did stuff. That's what happened last year. This year was a little different because um we didn't actually go outside. Some people got a chance to play on my PS5, but the big thing that we actually did was we played karaoke. And this just turned into such a fun thing. On my Instagram a couple minutes ago, or an hour ago, I made a post of the last 6 months of 2024, and I have this post where all my friends are like circled up, and we're singing "I Want It That Way." It was meant to kind of like be a little bit of a hug session for like all of us to hug each other, but no, it turned into a cult. So I'm like, that's even more funnier. Um, but yeah, we had so much fun. I even got to jam out to my songs and show them what I like and have fun with that. And some friends, I decided to give them credit since I know what songs they like. I thought, hey, why don't I play like "Man Out of You" for my friend? I'm like, that's fun. And overall, it just kind of feel like it was easily just one of the best birthdays in years. Granted, it didn't feel, it kind of felt kind of weird because I didn't want to post on Instagram at the time because of all the disableness and my Instagram getting like uh disabled or whatever. So it was kind of boring that I couldn't post. I posted on TikTok, which I have a couple friends on there, but overall, that's really my opinion on it. Overall, it was definitely one of the best birthdays in years. And then because my birthday was on a Sunday this year, and I basically spent my birthday just relaxing and playing Spider-Man, the Spider-Man 2. Yes, I'm still playing it. Don't judge me. I got other things to do. That's why I'm not playing it as much. But yeah, so that's pretty much all of January that I have to really say. Now we'll talk about February. And now we'll talk about February, and this was also a pretty slow month. Nothing really happened during this month. Obviously, really the big thing that was going on was Valentine's Day and everything. And as for myself, I was actually kind of excited for this, mainly because, um, you know, last year I decided, I have this special friend that I want to go see that goes to another school, and I'm like, oh man, I get to go see her again, and plus her birthday's the next week, so I get to celebrate that too with her. It didn't happen because she said she wanted to go do something with her other friend, so that kind of hurt. And I was also kind of forced to go to school on Valentine's Day for specific reasons. kind of stupid when you think about it, but it's over and done with now. But I didn't want to go to school on Valentine's Day. Part of the big reason for that is because I'm single and I'm not trying to see all of the couples at my school. People giving flowers to them. I'm not trying to get my feelings hurt and seeing all of that. I just want to be happy on Valentine's Day and have a good Valentine's Day. And I'm not gonna lie, I think I actually kind of enjoyed that day. To the point where, like, it kind of made me feel better. Where my special friend that went to my birthday party, of all my friends and my other friend, she actually gave me like a little goodie bag of little candy. And she technically said it was a surprise for, her close friends. But at the same time, because I was like telling her, like, I don't want to go to school. Like, I'm sad. I don't want this to happen. And to have a surprise, she was going to give me a goodie bag, which she did. And I honestly appreciate that. And then my other friend, she gave me a cookie. And that was nice. So it was overall like just a nice day. And I would say easily. And then I come home and I got a couple presents. I never did a Valentine's Day haul. I don't normally do that because, I don't know, Valentine's Day, I don't really expect to get presents on there. But Christmas, birthdays, I kind of do. Even if it's not like much, I'm still going to do a haul of it. Or even if it's just like one present, I probably will do something. But let me show you something. So I got these two. So my parents, like, my family, they got me like these two elephant toys. These two elephant like plushies or whatever they're called. I don't know. But yeah, they're cute. Me personally, I like elephants. I'll fix that later. So yeah, it was kind of nice, and I thought that made my Valentine's Day just a bit sweeter. And me personally, my girl best friend that goes to my school, she somewhat made Valentine's Day actually a pretty good day and a pretty cool day so far. So yeah, it's kind of crazy that some of the big things of my life of those first 2 months, they were because of her. They obviously weren't the biggest of biggest things, but they were pretty big implications. Next up, I guess, here's an interesting conversation. So, I believe it was the same week that Valentine's Day was. Yeah, it was 2 days after. So, this is where it's going to get a little bit different because it was February 16th, and I was in my Spanish class, and I was talking with my friend who, this is a guy that misses so much school. He's barely here, and when he's here, he still doesn't do his work much. And so I asked him, when you're at home, what do you do? Like, and he basically said, things that will teach me stuff to get it, that can be worth a job. Like, stuff that can be for a job. And he basically started telling me, like, his opinions on, like, school. And that, because me and him, we kind of have the same world history teacher. And in the way that she kind of did certain things. And I don't want to go into the specifics as to what he said. But from what he was saying, he kind of made a bit of sense. In that, like, when we wake up early to go to school, and some of this stuff, it's like, they make us, like, some of the, like, I guess one thing I can say is, and he acknowledges this too, most of the teachers at our school do not teach, and they just kind of just give us work. Which is true. There's a couple teachers that do that. And really, one of them actually just taught one day of the year, and then the rest of the year, they just kind of told us what assignment to do, and then that's it. It's like these teachers don't teach, and I'm like, what's going on here? And he was actually kind of making sense to where he told me he's not going to college. He's going to go straight into gaming production or whatever that thing he wants to do. And so I'm like, he was kind of making some sense. And like, in some ways, some parts of school don't really matter. Because, like, learning about math, you do realize, like, you should become the boss because of your ideas, not because of an application. Like, for example, you're studying for a math test. You pass it, but you're never going to go back to that math. You're never going to remember how to do this when you go to college. Like, for me, I want to be a filmmaker. I'm the boss. So technically, I'm going to be hiring people of how to do those things. I'm going to hire people of how to, do the stunt coordinator stuff. I'm going to hire people to do the CGI and all that stuff. I'm not doing all that stuff. I'm going to have other people doing it for me. Now, granted, I'm pretty sure film directing is a much harder job, but, and I'm pretty sure I won't be alone on this because we're going to be all together. But, yeah, that's kind of what I think. And so, yeah, he was kind of making some sense. I'm not going to sit here and say school fully doesn't matter. It does. I feel like there are definitely parts that you need to do in order to get to that higher level you want to go to. If there's a certain job you want to do, in some ways, yes, school is important. But if you're not planning to go to college or anything, or there's a certain career that doesn't really require school, I would, sure, you don't have to try, but at least for me, I was always raised to do good in school. So that's why I always care about my grades, even though I hate absolutely every second of it. And so, yeah, that's just kind of my thoughts. And I guess we'll kind of end up February here because I don't really have much to talk about. I guess the only other thing I can say, I got a lot. This was actually the month where I got like backed up on my Letterboxd updates. I've been trying to catch up with it, but it's been very hard since I've been watching a lot of movies. A very unhealthy amount of movies lately. So, yeah, I guess we'll end the February session right here. And now we'll move on to March. And now we're going to talk about March. And, this was also a pretty slow month. Nothing really crazy happened. I guess the first thing we could talk about, I want to go see Kung Fu Panda 4 with my mom. This was a movie, of course, I was nervous about, but I was also kind of excited because I like Kung Fu Panda. And obviously, my review for the movie, my ranking of the DreamWorks films, and my ranking of the Kung Fu Panda franchise, it's all on my YouTube right now, so you can go check the review out. As for me, yeah, I wasn't a totally huge fan of it. I just hope the next Kung Fu Panda films are better. And then next, I guess we can start talking about Spring Break. I remember having a couple memorable conversations with some of my friends. And I also just kind of enjoyed watching a lot of different movies. I remember watching Saving Private Ryan with my mom, and then watching all of the Studio Ghibli movies. So yeah, that was kind of fun. But yeah, we'll talk about Spring Break. Didn't do much. Usually every spring break we would go out on a road trip or whatever, go to Disney World. Last year we did Naples, but I guess my parents didn't get the time off, so we had to just do something small. So the first thing that I really did was had a friend reunion with one of my two friends that are twins. This was an interesting hangout because I meant for this to be a reunion between me and my friends that I had in my PE class when I was in 8th grade. But to be honest, I kind of just gave up on that idea just because I don't really think it's ever going to happen. Considering, now, I mean, obviously, three of the people have been able to make it together, but the other two, they can't. Also, these girls' twins' dad was there, which I was kind of shocked because I'm like, I thought he was just coming in to drop you guys off to say bye or whatever, but he's not the kind of dad where he's like, I'm here to protect my daughter at all costs. Like, no, he's a chill dad. He knows how they are. He knows how they are. He knows that they won't do anything stupid, and plus, he was also just kind of in the back chilling on his phone, and he's funny like that. It's like, and they even say that he's just the best dad, and I'm like, yeah, I can understand why. Most definitely, I can understand why. As for the hangout that we did, we went to the mall. I think it was Sawgrass Mall, I believe, or Coral Square. I don't know. Somewhere in the mall where they're able to reach it because I guess they live in I forgot the place that they live. Yeah, I forgot. I forgot the place that they live. Hold up. Actually, I can't even look it up. But yeah, we had fun at the mall. We ate lunch together. Surprisingly, I'm actually kind of glad that the dad was there because he paid for all of us for lunch. I'm like, thank God, because I hate paying for my own stuff, but I know that's what I'm gonna do when I get older. And then, so yeah, we took some pictures, and then we had a few minutes before my mom wanted to pick me up from the thing, and we went to go get. We went to go. I went in the twins' car, and they had like these cool speakers. And we were playing songs loudly. I'm like, this was just fun, and it's very underrated fun because. As for me, unlike them, where they have their own friends, I am personally just not like that, where I can just hang out with anyone I want. And obviously, my parents are cool all the time. Um, uh, like my parents are always cool with everything with stuff with friends and everything, so they're cool with everything. um I think the next thing we'll talk about here is my dad's birthday. Once again, we usually go do something for his birthday. We actually went out to dinner. The obvious choice for his birthday was Benihana. I didn't really know what place we were going to go to, but Benihana seems like the obvious choice since we all love Benihana and it's a great place. And I honestly almost forgot about how good it was, and yeah, it's still fantastic to this day. And so yeah, that happened, and then throughout the week, I had a couple days to relax until Thursday of that week where there was an announcement for Broward County, which is the little thing for Florida, where they announced that by April 1st, everyone has to get their vaccine shots in order. And I pretty much did my COVID vaccines. I did, but I haven't gone to the doctor since April 21st of last year, and I guess by my next visit, I was going to get my next shot. But there was a rumor that I was probably going to get like 3 shots. And so I had to go into the doctor's office on Thursday just to get a shot. And before I was about to get those 3 shots, the nurse checked to see if if the calculations were correct or whatever. It turns out I only had to get 1 shot, so I was basically gonna get poisoned. Thank God I didn't have to get 3 shots. So I really just got it on one arm. Kind of hurt. It hurt like a bitch for the first 2 days, but it was okay. But to end the week off on a pretty good note, the next day I went to the zoo, the Miami Zoo. I went with my family and my sister's friend, and that was a fun. I thought that was a fun experience, mainly because I love zoo animals, and I remember going to the zoo for my birthday last year. Oh, what's up, Marlon? I think that's my friend from high school. Yeah, I know him. What's up, Marlon? But yeah, I went to the zoo for my birthday in 2021 for my birthday. It was like the Palm Beach Zoo, and I had a lot of fun there. And so I wanted to try a different zoo where it has the usual animals you would see at a zoo. So we decided to go to the Miami Zoo, and it was just really fun. Personally, a lot of great experiences with animals, with like gorillas, giraffes, everything. It was just fantastic. So I had a lot of fun at the zoo, and then I was so much in the mood for watching zoo animals. I went to Disney Plus as soon as I got home to rewatch Elephant, and yeah, it was a great experience. So pretty good day, even though my arm was sore from the shot I got from the doctor. And then the final thing we'll talk about here, as somehow because of leap year for February this year, we had Easter in March, on the last day of March. So my family went to church. That was a fun little thing we did. Me personally, I thought it was kind of boring, but I think it was also important to go there because not only did we go because it was Easter, but also one of my dad's closest friends passed away around a time of that time taking place. So I thought it was when I went there, I kind of understood more of what this guy that my dad talked about all the time meant to him. So I thought it was a nice little thing that we did. And yeah, overall, it was a nice Easter. Definitely kind of sad especially for my dad, but it was cool. All right. On a much lighter note, we'll start talking about April. So let's go ahead and do that. And now we're going to start talking about April, and I thought that April was, once again, just kind of the most boring month of them all. Nothing really exciting happened. I didn't really do much, and the only big things that I can really say is I went to the movies and I went to go to a birthday party. That's like the only thing that I really did. And when it comes to the movies, I went to go see Civil War. So, I went to the movies twice in the past month that we're talking about. I went to go see Bob Marley in February. I saw Kung Fu Panda 4 in March. But once I saw Civil War, my experience of going to see movies in theaters changed forever. Where every movie up to that point, I just absolutely loved. And Civil War was a great experience because not only that, but I just feel like I was seeing different types of movies that I love that in the theater, but also I'm loving them at the same time too. Because I'm seeing usual films like Kung Fu Panda 4, like animated films and superhero movies, but I'm also seeing like films that are about the main consensus of stuff. And Civil War was a great experience. And then I went to my friend's birthday party. It was a fun one. He brought in his sisters brought in a water slide as a surprise. I thought that was a cool, fun little thing that happened. I kind of was not really wanting to go because he invited a friend of mine, an ex-friend of mine that I kind of mentioned here, that I'm not exactly as close with that friend as much anymore. But he he's somewhat cool, I guess, but I don't know, I just don't talk to him anymore. So I just stopped. But it was overall fun, and I don't know if I'll go again next year, but I gotta be there for him, but who knows. And yeah, that kind of closes out things with April. I know it's probably the shortest thing, it's just I don't really remember that much that happened in April. So, yeah, it was just a very uneventful month. And now we'll start talking about May. And now let's talk about May. So, May was a very interesting month. It was a very interesting month. Probably the most life-changing of all the months. So, it actually started out pretty nice because I was able to watch some films, some really good movies, and all that stuff. And, I guess one of the big things that was so worrisome for this month was the tests I had to take with reading and biology and geometry. We had EOCs and stuff like that. Let's talk about the day when I had to take the reading test. So, pretty simple, but I'm not talking about the reading test. I'm talking about the day. So, something kind of big happened that was life-changing for me on that day. So, if you guys remember, if you remember earlier in the stream when I was talking about my birthday and how I said it was almost perfect, this is the thing I'm going to talk about. So, if you guys remember, I've mentioned this mystery girl on my channel that since 8th grade ended, I've just had so much fun like commenting on her and basically how she kind of made my life better and making it much happier and lively to where I'm able to talk to her and have fun, but also hang out with her too. And she went to my birthday party that year, but you're probably wondering, okay, so what's the story? Why is it not perfect anymore? So I come off my bus. I was coming home from the reading test, the day of the reading test. I just came off my bus and walked into my house. I decided to check my phone because I thought maybe I would get a new message, maybe from my mom or something, or whatever. And I see a text message from her. And I'm like, this message could either be serious or good. So I decided to read it. And basically, the message was that she kind of wanted to end being friends because whenever we would plan hangouts, she wouldn't really feel as excited to hang out with me. And she also said she doesn't feel, and that's because she doesn't feel as close with me, that we haven't known each other to hang out enough. Therefore, we can't really hang out. We should stop being friends because of that. And what's kind of crazy is I've been happy with our friendship this whole time, and I've always thought about her, and she seemed to be liking it. I'm just assuming that's just how she is. I'm pretty sure she's different with her friends because she hangs out with them, and I even, like, asked many times, like, when can you introduce me to your friends? When can I come and hang out with you and your friends? Like, and there's even times where she would be like, sorry, I hope this didn't cut out. There will be times where, like, she's like, we don't need to have the same friends. Like, what do you mean? Like, if we're friends, wouldn't you want me to, like, wouldn't you want me to, like, meet your friends or whatever? I mean, I know some people, I know certain friends, which it's a certain thing between us, but, like, there are some friends I'm sure you would love me to meet, like, some very sweet people. And we could all interact and hang out together. And we even planned to probably hang out that month. And obviously she didn't want to do that anymore. And so that kind of felt sad. And it just kind of felt weird because I'm like, I put so much effort into this, and I was really hoping that it wouldn't end. And even then, I'm like, why are you telling me this now? You came to my hangouts to get my birthday. You got me like Funko Pops, pop figures. So what happened? When did you start feeling this way? And my guess is maybe something happened with her life that she has to do this. I'm not sure. And what's even crazy is this year I wanted to do everything I could to fix what happened last year to me, because a similar situation happened to where I hung out with a girl for like 2 weeks straight. We went to do things together, and then I kind of like told her I liked her, and she kind of ghosted me, and it's still kind of happening to this day, to where she's like making people not want to be friends with me. So like that was a weird thing. And so I'm just trying to do hangouts to make things up for the better. And I guess maybe this was a sign, because the other friend that I mentioned, she actually does things that that this girl never did. She would text me on her own. She would sometimes send me reels, but honestly, not many of my friends send me reels, so I can understand. She invites me to places, but she invites me to them as soon as they're happening. Like, let me know ahead of time. But like, yeah, she actually feels like a good friend. Even like during April, she was kind of distant because of the situation she had, and even then, she was still, she was fine, but she was just living life, So I'm like, that's understandable, because I would be living life too. But as for the rest, so what happened after that? That's the big question. How did I feel after that? Of course, do I feel sad? Obviously I do. I think about it sometimes. But it doesn't really affect me as much, because I just have other things to worry about as of right now. But let's talk. As for the things that happened after, one thing I realized is after she kind of left and I stopped talking to her, I just noticed a lot of my other friends, the ones that at my school, I just kind of talked to. Because I've always had this thing that I like the rare friends, the people I rarely see, better than the people I hang out with all the time. And that's because the people I see all the time, they're just too goofy. I can't really talk to them about certain stuff, and it's just not comforting. They're just there for comedy. And it's like, I want friends that can be both for comedy and good times. And I just didn't really feel like they put that, but some of them actually started being there for me, but also bringing a good time. And I liked that a lot. And I'm like, maybe this was a sign. Maybe that some of these people are good. And even I was kind of noticing that in April. I'm like, these people are actually kind of cool. They're actually pretty fun to hang out with. I don't know if I'll hang out with them every single day, which I kind of do, but they're cool. But even one thing that I noticed, so here's a fun story. So it was the day after all the EOCs were done. I was in my biology class, and I already took the biology EOC, and pretty much up to that point, we're not doing anything in biology anymore. So it's like, well, we're not really doing anything in biology anymore, so it's like, I'm not going to sit here and be bored for the rest of the quarter, so what exactly are we going to do? In world history class, when we're done with our work, my teacher somehow has Uno cards, so me and my friend, we play Uno after we're done with our work. Somehow she allows it, I don't know, but we play Uno. So I thought, what if we did the same thing for biology? Because we're not doing anything, so the teacher's not going to yell at us, so let's play Uno. And so I pretty much just played with the friends that I had in there, but along the way, I also made some new friends. Some people these two, like, freshman girls, I hate to say freshmen, but that's who they are, that one of them, I seen her before, but I didn't know her until my sophomore friend introduced me to her, and I'm like, she's cool. and then I followed her on TikTok and I texted her and I'm like, okay, she's actually pretty fun. And then she finally played Uno with us along with her friend, and I'm like, this was fun, and I was nervous as to how she was gonna react to my friends because we've never specifically all talked together, but she can be fun and funny with other guys. So I'm like, this is cool. And as just throughout the weeks, it just kept getting better with, me loving movies and watching and playing Uno with these guys. It was just fun where it was actually crazy is this was like the first time where I actually enjoyed going to my biology class, going to science class, in which is something that I've never done before. And that is something that I've never done because, you know how you see those posts where they're like, biology because I can't, uh, say love you. Sorry, I got a message from my mom. Don't ignore what I just said. I'm trying to say my words. To where I can't finish my work because I can't stop laughing at my friend. That's how it's always for science classes. In some ways, my science class was like that this year. And because I hated my science class last year. I hated it. It was shit. But this one we just made it a lot better because I actually I created a friend group through this because I brought Uno. And I'm so glad about that. And I guess that's where the finale of May sits. And now let's talk about June. And now we're going to talk about June, and we'll actually kick things off back up with the biology group, where it was the first Monday back at school for basically the last week of school, basically. And what was so fun about this one was we had a group. All of my friends I had in that class, but the new people we all played Uno together. And it was just funny because they kept clowning on me, but it was all in fun games. And it was just really fun to the point where, up to that point, we pretty much all became friends and created a group chat with each other. And while this was all fantastic, I'm going to be honest with myself, I was kind of overwhelmed by all of that. The reason for it is because all of this was happening so fast and everything, and most of those people are not going to be here next year. So it kind of felt weird to be excited for it, and yet this is like the last time we're pretty much all going to be together. So it's like, and who knows if we're going to hang out during the summer, I don't know. But that's really my opinion. But I realized, even throughout the summer, even throughout like the first couple weeks of summer, we pretty much just kept always talking, sending funny stuff. It was just like good. Just, good fashion fun. Just funny moments. It's like going to the group chat was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. It was just so good. And it made a lot of us closer. And then we get to final exams. So here's the interesting thing about final exams this year. To be honest, I think final exams is just kind of dumb. Because it's like, why are we doing specific tests for specific subjects earlier in May? It's like, can't that just be the only test that matter? Like, why do we have a test? Like, it doesn't matter if we really fail a test. We're still going to make it to the next grade. Like, come on now. And, what's actually interesting is if you took the EOC, you don't have a test for that certain class. So biology, geometry, I had it on the same day, so I didn't have to go for the class. But I wanted to because I wanted to be with my bio friends. But I'm not going to lie, that kind of resulted into something that resulted in a reason as to why I didn't really make any videos that week or that weekend and that week forward. I As for like last week, I didn't make videos because I was in Disney, but the other week I have my own reasons, but I will not be sharing them with you on here. But for the last couple of days of school, I decided, I just went to go to my tests and everything, said goodbye to my friends, and my last really day was really Friday, because I realized I didn't have a test to do for my digital video class. I accepted my Spanish test, and so I thought, why not just stay home on Monday? There's really no point in going to school. Like, come on. There's no point. And overall, it was a successful thing. And now, to give you my overall thoughts on 10th grade, I would actually say it started out pretty weird because I had zero expectations of making friends and doing all this stuff. But then I, of course, met my girl best friend. I started talking to her more. Got very close with her. My Instagram stuff and my sort of, I guess, not popularity, but my gaining of followers, it was kind of... I mean, we're teenagers. We want to be loved by all people, but, we can't. But sometimes it's okay to be left alone when we want to. But even as 2024 hit, and then really May was the big hit in the butt, where I'm like, maybe I really do need to focus on myself. And by April, I was even thinking, I probably need to focus on myself this next year or so, because I want to be okay with things. Because I'm honestly kind of tired of losing people and like feeling so emotional about it and caring about people so much. I need to care about myself in order to care about other people and still do what I love to do. And so I feel like I ended this year off with friends that care about me, to where I literally went to the movies with my friends to go see Bad Boys. And that was a fun experience because my friend, he like brought donuts for us. And I'm like, that was fun. And even just like hearing the reactions to the movie was cool. We got some pictures. It was just overall fun. And then, of course, the next week, I kind of spent, doing normal things. I watched a couple movies, and then I went to go see Inside Out 2, which, in a way, I thought was a nice week to start off the Disney World weekend. And it actually turned out to be my favorite movie of the year so far. So that was a memorable experience. And then I went to Disney. Pretty unique hotel, not gonna lie. I don't know if I'll do a re-ranking of the Disney hotels. I might. I don't know. It's still in the bag of decision videos I want to do. But as for me, I thought it was a really unique hotel. Like the food that trip was amazing, but also just the way the layout was for where the room is, for our bus, to a little food court down the area. It's just really a solid. I like that this hotel has Skylanders too. And then just the experiences of being in the parks, which is kind of fun. There's not too much to say. The big standout day for me was Friday, which was the last day we stayed. And one of the big things that I've been trying to do with up and coming Disney trips is try to make it feel like the past ones. Because the best thing about the past ones from like when I was like in elementary school was because we would go early in the morning. We did, but I had a very hard time staying up because I didn't really go to bed as much throughout that week. But also, we tried like going in early to ride all the rides. But what was so lucky about Friday is, so the first thing we did was we went to Boma for breakfast. I liked it, but it didn't hit as hard, but it was still good. It was still a good breakfast. I felt satisfied. And what was so good is because on Friday, Magic Kingdom was closing at 7 p.m. And my mom was checking all the wait times for all the rides. And they were like 10, 15-minute waits. And so I'm like, we literally rode like 5 different things. And I'm so happy that we did. Now granted, it was hot as balls outside. But I enjoyed being there. And I'm so glad it was so worth it. Thanks for making the last day of Disney so good. And then I actually decided to go home and on the car ride home to watch Toy Story, since I was doing the Toy Story video the next day. And I thought it was a very enjoyable weekend to get back on the things I like doing, even though it was kind of stressful the last couple days. But I am ready to get, I am pretty much back in the groove of things. It's pretty special. So that pretty much leads me up to where I am today with everything. And today's the last day of June. Tomorrow's July 1st. Tomorrow starts the next 6 months of 2024. I'll pretty much be back here December 31st. As for, I don't really have any goals. When I get back to school next year, I plan to start a club. Not start a club, I plan to join a club. I also plan to work out this summer. Not too much, because I don't want to strain myself out, but I do want to, eat healthier, and I do want to start working out and, getting some exercise in throughout the day. Not too much, because I'm not a bodybuilder, but I can definitely get some good stuff in. So that is pretty much all I have to say for this 6-month live stream. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. If you want, once this live is over, you can share some of your stories and some things that you went through the last 6 months of 2024. I would love to hear about it. And how has 2024 been for you? So that's it. See you guys in the next video.